On June 4, 2008, the President of France, Nicolas Sarkozy, officially announced the names of the 10 winning teams selected for the international competition The Future of Metropolitan Paris, Grand Paris Agglomeration. This competition was created by the Paris Ministry of Culture and Communication in partnership with the Ministry for Ecology and Urban Development. It was intended to join science, design, and strategic planning to provide an overall vision for a future 21st century Greater Paris metropolis in a post-Kyoto Treaty era. P-Rex was the environmental and landscape consultant to the urbanist team of Studio 8 in Milan, led by Bernardo Secchi and Paola Vigano, providing the team with a reading of the environmental problems at the regional scale of the Seine-Normandy watershed. Our first self-defined task was to test the meaning of post-Kyoto by exploring carbon trade-offs. We began by mapping the drawscape or the waste sites of Paris to explore the possibilities of using these areas for other uses. These mappings exposed two groundbreaking discoveries. First, we found that converting the entire drawscape area to cropland would produce only enough food for about 100,000 people, a tiny fraction of the metropolitan population. Secondly, we found that converting 75% of the drawscape area to forests would only sequester 1 to 2% of the Paris region's carbon emissions annually. Our research exposed that farms, gardens, and forests would have no major effect on the carbon footprint of the Paris region. We did this not just to make our design more intelligent, but to educate the other 9 teams and the entire scientific jury on the use of landscape at regional scales. Why? Because we knew that other teams would represent landscape as a passive background, mainly used to greenwash their renderings of buildings. In contrast, the P-Rex philosophy is to force a serious consideration for landscape biodiversity and ecological performance, a truer measure of the post-Kyoto meaning. Our research also revealed poor water quality in the Seine-Normandy watershed due to urban density, polluted runoff, and disappearance of habitat. In fact, we found that at least 25% of groundwater has more than 40 milligrams per liter of nitrate, which is double the level for safe drinking water. Also, more than half of Paris's wetlands have disappeared in the last 2 decades, diminishing the capacity of the landscape to store and clean water. Because France is number 4 in EU countries which use the most water per household, it was necessary to address water issues in the team's design proposal. The proposal redesigns the edges of the Seine River to allow for periodic controlled flooding at low slopes using large vacant parcels that would allow for maximum biodiversity. Our design creates massive wetland complexes at strategic points in the Seine corridor, capable of cleaning water, creating habitat, and providing housing opportunities with recreational and cultural amenities. These wetland complexes would contain modular, flexible wetland cells that could be replicated along any segment of river. Each cell would have consistent edge-to-slope ratio, aquatic depth to sustain emergent vegetation, wildlife habitat, and public programming. The wetlands allow for the influx of mean low water, which is ideal for emergent plants. The emergent plants encouraged by this design would create contrasting wild and domesticated spaces for use by urban dwellers. This complexity in the land-water edge is almost non-existent in the current urbanized river system and helps to foster diversity in insect, amphibian, and fish species. The ultimate goal is to bring urban dwellers closer to the natural and biotic processes in the landscape around them, while keeping them dry and safe, and simultaneously creating habitat for aquatic and terrestrial wildlife in the urban fabric for the next 50 years, in the post-Kyoto Paris metropolis. The 10 winning proposals were exhibited in Paris in 2009. Reviews of the proposals can be found by doing a Google search for Grand Paris Agglomeration. For more information, please visit the following links.